Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Spin from the Real as I grab my glasses. My name is Chris Anthony Lopez. Not hurt that Bo Burnham lost an Emmy to Hamilton of all things, but you know what? I'll cry about that later. Joining me is my boy, my main man, Suge Knight 323, but his friends just call him Suge. Suge, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
What is up, man? How you doing today? Hope you're well. You know what? I was feeling today. I've been like sluggish. I've been tired, and I was like, oh man, like, all right. And I got home. I sat down for a couple minutes, and then I jumped on Galaxy Geeks stream for a couple minutes, and all of a sudden I heard this bing, and I look in our StreamYards, and then I heard another bing, and two great people popped up, and all of a sudden I feel great. Now I'm like, all right, let's do the show. I'm ready to go. Before I was like, oh, I'm tired. I'm up now. Let's do this, man. We have two great guests with us today. We had an awesome week of Schmodown, awesome week coming up. Got some big matches coming up that I'm super excited about. One of the people that we're going to be talking to is probably interested in one of those matches. It happened today on Patreon. We won't be able to spoil it for you, but it's going to be interesting.
We've learned a lot about the Schmodown and spoilers over the last few days, but we're not going to talk about that. Why would we talk about that?
And like Jeremy Adams said, last week it was benefit of the doubt, and this week it's spoilers. What's next week going to be?
Every week. And you know what? Benefit of the doubt, that whole ass rule. We talked about it on the show last week and how much of a mess that is. And now spoilers are a mess. But you know what? The match already went up on YouTube. So let's just bring up our guests, because this is breaking news, y'all. So first of all, I see y'all in the chat. Thank y'all for coming and hanging out. Really appreciate it. But initially we had our two guests on separately, but they popped in at the same time, and we're just like, yeah, screw it. Why not? Why not just have, a former champ and a current champ on the screen at the same time? Because why the hell wouldn't we? So first off, got to bring in the former Star Wars champion. And Suge, I don't know about you, brother, but I think I can speak for us. But regardless of what happens for the rest of this year, this man is the overall Star Wars player of the year, in our opinion, if you ask us so nicely. His name is Andrew Dimalanta. Andrew, what's good, brother? How are you?
What's going on, guys? I'm relaxed. I'm feeling fresh over here.
That's great.
It's been a crazy couple of weeks of like, I'm not looking at my cards. Okay.
We're interesting. Yeah. Right. I said, we were talking off screen. I said, yeah, man, you look very relaxed, and you look like you're ready to chill and everything. But I'm sure if we put you in a 3-round match right now, you could do it with your eyes closed. I think you could do it.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I mean, it's good to.
Oh, that's too easy.
Very.
Yeah.
But you know what, Andrew, I definitely want to talk about your journey so far in the Schmodown. What's next for you? But we have to introduce a certain somebody who's been on a Spin from the Real adjacent show already, but we asked her so nicely to come back on our Monday show, and I mean, she said yes, so thank God. And she halfway caused a little bit of a kerfuffle with stuff in the Facebook group. I don't want to talk about that because that's a mess. But she is right now, which is crazy to tell this out loud, is the singles champion of the Movie Trivia Schmodown. And she is just bringing the hammer down on anybody in her way. Her name is Marisol McKee, the singles champion of the Movie Trivia Schmodown. Marisol, what's good? How are you?
Hey, everybody.
Ooh, that blinding. Oh,
blinding
look at
over here.
Look at the glare. Oh my God.
Thanks, ring light. That is yeah. Yeah, guess what finally arrived. Finally. I can now wear it when I talk about my match. Thanks for having me, you guys. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for coming on. Thank you both of you, Andrew and Marisol, for coming on. Really appreciate you both. Obviously, we're a huge fan of both of you. And we want to, we're going to talk about everything that's gone down this week, everything that's going to be happening, and things like that. And so obviously, Andrew, I'll start with you. You this year has been kind of crazy for you. You started off #1 contender. You beat the unbeatable, which nobody thought you could do. Then you did it again. It maybe not in the same fashion, because that first time I don't think anybody's going to top that. But you did it again. Then you played your rival, who put you out of being in Spectacular a couple years back, and you beat Laura Kelly, who's really great. And then, you come in and, you play Thomas Harper, and people were like, really like say, okay, how's Andrew going to play? You only lost by 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I mean, good God, if here 2 things change here or there, we're talking about you're continuing to champion. How did you feel about after this match, after playing Thomas? When you came out of this match, how did you feel?
It was, obviously it sucks to lose. Everybody, especially losing, by so close. And like, I look back at that match and it was like, oh, there's so many places I could have made up that 1 point just to send us to sudden death. Yeah, at the same time, I went into this match thinking like, can I do this again going through the tournament? And that was a huge part of why I decided not to go into the tournament, was just the stress levels and the anxiety and the mental stress and just it sucks to lose, but it was, at the same time, it was kind of a relief. I said it on my show that like the second I decided not to go in the tournament, it was like Goku weight's coming off of my shoulders. It's like, oh, I can watch What If now. I can watch Loki again. I can watch all these other things that aren't Star Wars, because the last 2 years, that's all it's been. It's just Star Wars. Not all the other stuff, because I've been falling behind on other Star Wars stuff. I'm starting to catch up on the books and all the other stuff. So it sucks to lose, but at the same time, now it's like, now we get to see all these rookies coming in, all the new talent, all the new blood coming in. They get an opportunity for the title, and I've always been one to say like I'm always like tired of like, if it's in wrestling or it's in like mixed martial arts or in the Shimoda, I'm getting kind of tired of the belt bouncing back and forth between the same 3 to 4 people. It's like, come on, man, new blood, new champions, and the person right next to me just. I love seeing it, especially new people that are newer to the Shimoda and not like veterans like Dan Murrow or stuff like that. So, it was a relief in some cases, because now I get to sit back and cheer my wife on in the tournament. So that's what it really meant.
There you go, and you get to live vicariously through her. But I mean, absolutely, you cannot honestly say like at the end of the day, after you lost that match to Thomas, like how great of a year you had. I mean, your year was just. Spectacular. And I think talking to you, and I messaged you privately and things like that, I feel like a sense of more of a, like, I did what I wanted to do. Yeah, it sucks I lost, but look what I did this year. I could sit on that and be like, I'm proud of myself, and come back next year. Like, and Ben obviously asked you, are you going to come back next year? And you're like, oh yeah, I'm coming back. Yeah, no. But you needed some time, like, just because there was a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of, you went from the lowest of lows, losing that ace match, to the highest of highs and beating, Alex, and then defending twice, so I feel you're more content, not content that you're happy with, like, you're like, how can I say it? Like, you don't care anymore, but you're content with, I did good this year. I'm okay taking my break now and coming back next year stronger.
Yeah. I mean, coming into this season was like, the number one goal out of anything. That's like, I don't care how long I defend that thing. The thing was like, I always felt that my destiny was to take it off of Alex. I was like, coming into the season, every time I would get so close, I'd always DM him like, please defend, because we're destined to fight for it. I'm destined to take it from you. We joke about it. And that was the thing. I was like, I wanted to be the one to do it. And I did that. And then after that, I was like, all right, let's just defend it. So like, no matter how the season goes, how the awards go for like Star Wars Player of the Year, or whoever gets it, I always will hang my head on like, I was the one that did that. It was nobody else. I always said that I wanted to do it. I wanted to be the one, and I was the one. So the number one goal was achieved. And all these other accolades that I got through the year, I only played in pay-per-view title matches this whole entire season. Speaking of making history with, our first female champion sitting right next to me, digitally, obviously. I was the first person of color to hold the Star Wars belt. So I think that's something to be recognized, something I'm extremely proud of, to represent our Filipino fan base and our Asian community, that I'm so proud to be able to represent them in our league. So no matter what happened this year, it does suck to lose a title. It is very weird to start episodes of Beyond. It's like, oh, it's not right here. But it's like, yeah, I've done so many other things and I felt like after that match, like, I have nothing left to prove. I've proven all I could have done this season, and I've done so much already. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let the season be the season and see where everybody else goes from here.
And that's why I said at the jump, like, you're the overall Star Wars Player of the Year. And yeah, like, I love that Thomas Harper won the belt. Like, that's great. And he's going to go to defend it spectacular. That's awesome. But let's look at what you've done in 9 months. Like it's insane. You tackled the Titan that is that was Alex Damon, but Marisol tackled the title of, like, not only of a woman getting to the top of the Schmodown, because that's that damn belt behind you, Marisol, has been that's what everyone pines for in this whole space. It's the singles belt in the Schmodown, and not only as a person of color did you do that, but as a lady did you do that. And we've seen so many people come through this thing of color, or all these different ladies come through here, and they just couldn't get there. Luckily, we had people like Ethan, and you winning it off of Ethan, which is another big high five for all of us minorities in the showdown. Oh, but how was? I mean, I bet you've talked about this a ton, but I haven't gotten to ask you about this. But the second they said your name that you won, what was the first emotion? What was going through your brain? I want to know all of it.
Just like a giant sigh of relief, like just a release, like just the dams broke, and it was just like I did it, it's over, I did it. And it was overwhelming. The emotion was overwhelming, as you can see. I was just like, I had nothing to do but just like, I couldn't even stand there and grandstand. I just had to fall into like Shannon's arms. I was overcome. It was just like that. It was the breaking of a dam. It was overwhelming. And that high still really hasn't gone away. You know, it's a lot quieter here now in my apartment, but it's still just burning. That furnace is still just burning inside here.
And I remember, because I was at Riot Fest, and I was waiting between sets for songs or between artists, and I get the message like, oh my God, Marisol won. I'm like, oh my God, like that's nuts. That's incredible. That's incredible. Because I mean, anyone that watches this show, and anyone that has heard me talk Schmodown has heard me say like, yo, Marisol, she's been in this thing for a year. Like, it's been roughly a year since you first showed up. It's been,
14 months.
Right. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh my, like, and she's already doing all these incredible things, and you may be on your way to do more, to be even busier at these other live events or at Spectacular towards the end of the year. And that's just mind-boggling. It's just as a fan, I can't even imagine how you are, like, especially watching your match, hearing you talk about it, how important this is. Like, just again, congratulations on the W. But the whole preparation for Ethan, was it like, oh my God, he knows everything, just I got to try my best to match him or exceed him? Or did you actually try to like pick apart his flaws, if he had any?
You don't want to over strategize too much. You have to, like, I'm going to win this match, so I can't spend too much time worrying about in singles. You can't worry that much about, I guess maybe in most of the divisions, you can't worry about what your opponent's going to do. None of that matters unless you are going to make yourself the strongest player you can. Every new opponent is a new challenge. Everybody's got a weakness. Everybody has a weakness. Some drastically fewer weaknesses than others, like Ethan Irwin. But everybody has vulnerable spots. And with Ethan, it wasn't even necessarily that there were any really vulnerable spots. I just needed to, again, focus on myself and be ready when an opportunity came. I needed to just level myself up. And fortunately, I had an opportunity to do just that in this match. And so that's really the best way to focus. You guarantee you plan for your opponent to be the best version of themselves. And the best way to counter that is just be the best version of yourself. That has to be the number one. You know? Yeah,
for sure. And we got another champ in the house, Adam Collins, always a big support of Marisol, and thank you, Adam, for stopping by to Coyote. And so obviously both of you have held the belt this year. Marisol currently holding the belt. Andrew, you held the belt this year. What is that feeling like when you hold the belt for the first time? And obviously, Marisol, it just happened on camera. Maybe you held it before that. But what is it like to hold that belt and know that all the sacrifice, everything, Andrew, you talk about it, that we, people don't know what you go through. How does it feel to hold that belt and know that you did it? And I'll start with you, Marisol.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's no, you're good. It feels it's tangible, at that point. I think that sounds obvious, but like it really is. It's not theoretical anymore. It's not hoping, it's not wishing. It's every pound of that belt is just the weight of what you've accomplished, and that's insane. That is so gratifying. Nothing really matches that. I know that sounds materialistic as all get out, but it's the belt. What can I say? It's very symbolic, and I take that really seriously. And it doesn't disappoint.
Andrew?
It's indescribable. I mean, like I wasn't fortunate enough, like Marisol was, to be like a live event and be able to have the belt handed over to me. Because I was handcuffed by digital, but like getting it in the mail, like you said, it's tangible, it's here. Like it didn't feel real until I was able to hold it in my hands. Like, and it's like she said, it's like all that time you spend studying, doing things that studying rather than doing things that you love and things that you miss out on because of your preparation for these huge matches. It's indescribable, of that feeling of having it in your hands. And it's like, I've worked so long for this. I've given up so much for this, and it's finally in my hands. And we did record a video when I unboxed it. But my stupid videography brain looked at it and it was out of focus the entire thing. I was like, I can't post this. This is what I do for a living. I can't post this. So that's why, if anybody's ever wondering, like, why didn't you film yourself opening the box? It's like, we did. It was out of focus, and my standards for video are too high. So that's why. But we took pictures, and it's just great. And just that feeling of just validations, like, because we say, I'm sure the same is for Marisol. Nobody will ever realize or fully understand how much we go through and what we have to do to get to the level that we're at. Because it may seem like silly trivia to people that are outside of our community, but to us, it's everything. It's like everything you put forth, you put everything you have into it, and it's unbelievable when you have it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And it's reflective. It's reflective of what you love. And I can only hope you've set, the standard has been set this year with you, Dimalanta. I can only hope. My goal wasn't to just like get it. And now that I have the belt, I'm like, well, that's great. I guess I'll just sit back. I guess I'll just retire. I
thought about it like, just retire now. You'll never lose it. So
it's tempting. But yeah, now the real work begins, and it requires that much work to just get up that hill. And then when you're there, that space gets tinier and tinier, and just the effort that it requires to then maintain that is not something to take for granted. So that's my challenge in front of me. And I'm like, I'm so thrilled to be here. And now like the real work begins. Not gonna hang up my spurs right now. Like the race is still going. And I want to continue. I want to extend this, knock on wood, hopefully multiple defenses as you've accomplished this year, Andrew. That would be extraordinary. Yeah.
And Andrew, I know, like, yeah, your season may be over, but you'll be back sooner rather than later. That Star Wars bug's gonna bite you again. You're gonna go ahead and start watching all those movies again.
Yeah.
But what was, like, besides like the stress and everything and everything that was put on you over the course of the last, I don't know, year plus that you've been,
it's close to 2 years, yeah,
right, that you've been knowing that this title match is going to happen, that you were going to face Alex or face a champion at that point, whatever the situation may have been. But now that you're stepping away for the rest of the season, is this the time for me to ask you about your outlook on the rest of the Star Wars division? Because now, besides Nikki, and Nikki's match went up today, we're not going to talk about that. But the rest of the tournament, like, you haven't seen too many of these folks. And now, as a fan, just a fan for the rest of the season, how is your outlook on this? How are you looking at Star Wars now, or at least the division now that you're not competing?
It's anybody's game. I said it before, and the thing about the division's always been like this. Any one of us could be holding that belt at any given time. It's always come down to that one dumb miss in the match that costs you, and it's always been like that. We've only seen one true blowout, in the division, and that was years ago. So, and the competition has done nothing but gotten harder. And like, especially with the new rookies coming in, we was like, yeah, well, yeah, Dragon Con, whatever. But then they come in, and it's like, oh, okay. Because I said it before, every single competitor from the top to the bottom has done something, answered a question, or something of that nature, where I was like, oh, okay. So it's anybody's game. You can look at that bracket and you go like, yeah, that person can definitely win over that person. That person can definitely win over that person, or vice versa. And no, it's yeah, sure. I'm very biased when it comes to the bracket, who I would like to win, but yeah, just looking at the entire tournament, it's like anybody can come out of this from top to bottom. So it's always too close to call for the Star Wars division. So it's just look. I already watched Nikki's match tonight, and I'm already getting that itch to get back in. And it's like, you took your break for a reason, Andrew. Don't fall into that trap again. You took a break for a reason. Go ahead and take your break. But like, that itch is already starting to get me. It's like, go look at that book again. Go look at that website again. Go look at that scene again. And it's like, yeah. So I'm starting to get a little bit of like fear of missing out. It's like, oh man, should I have gone to that tournament? But then I think back to the months of preparation for Thomas and Laura and Alex, and I was like, no, I'm good. I'm totally good. So yeah.
And now that we got that out of the way, how do you really feel about the division, Andrew? Lay it on me. I hate that.
I'll smoke all of them. I'll smoke all of them. No.
I mean, if you look at that Star Wars tournament, it's you got Gold Leader, you got Scrimshaw. Scrimshaw played a perfect game against you, Andrew, and it goes either way. God knows what he could have done in those following rounds. So Scrimshaw's in there. You have Alex Damon, you have Molly Damon, you have Ross, who's new, who the dentist talked up, who I've heard great things about. You have Laura Kelly, who when she played you, one round kind of just changed things, but she was playing great in that match against you. You have Eric Wiley, and your wife is in the tournament. So I mean, that tournament, I was more excited for this tournament than the first one. I was happy for the first one. I wanted to see how Ace did. We got some great matches between Gold Leader and Thomas. Ace and Thomas is a classic, but this tournament I am very, very, very excited for. It's not the best tournament. The best tournament was that Twitch one that you were a part of, because it had everything. It had the emotional stream on that darn thing. I cried. Okay, I don't like to cry. I can admit it. I cried. I cried multiple times
because of Andrew Dimalanta. I
have cried multiple times. Okay, so don't ever say I don't love the Schmodown. But that it's a great tournament. And Marisol, in the same breath, you have now a match set for New York, and that who you're playing and everything like that. How does it, like, how are you thinking about that? Because it's like, you don't want to think far ahead. Everyone's thinking, I've said it, I hope Marisol gets to Spectacular because I want to see her play this person. Likewise. But you have to stay in the, you want to stay in the moment. How are you keeping yourself in the moment right now?
Yeah, I always take it one game at a time. I had even started thinking before my championship match, I was just like, I had to stop myself because I was like, oh, what if I'm playing like especially before the last kind of singles bracket thing happened. I was like, oh, what if I played Chance or Adam in New York? And I had like really gotten focused on that for a second, and I was like, skirt. I was like, look, you kind of have to play a little person called Ethan Irwin first. Like, just you have to kind of get over this little speed bump first before you even think about New York, or else that's not even going to happen. And I'm not beyond like thinking far ahead, and of course, like being a slave to the moment like that. But yeah, I keep centering myself and reminding myself that it is one match at a time, and that really focuses me. I always bring myself back to that, and yeah, Spectacular. Of course, I have ambitions for Spectacular, but I am focusing all my energy. You have to treat. I want to continue on as much, but you have to treat. You have to recognize that any given day could be like the end of the road, and if you approach anything like that, if you approach all your matches like that, you never take anything for granted, and you're always sharp, and you're always at least in the best position to be the sharpest version of yourself. And reach the highest level of focus going into your matches. So I try to keep doing that.
So y'all have been having the conversations of the faction infighting for a minute now, because I mean that's with the stacked faction like Corruption. I'm not to show my cards, but having a stacked faction over there, y'all at least before it was okay had to have been talking like, if they let us play with each other, and then y'all get like really serious about the shit, especially now that you guys have the belt back. And it's, at least for me, like it sucks. I hate watching my favorite people play against each other. Luckily, this past Friday, no offense to Ethan, was kind of easy for me. But have we? I know you have that Dragonair with you. Have you seen what that Dragonite Marisol McKee evolution looks like, or are you still like that Dragonair?
Am I still on my like stage 2? Yeah, am I still in
right.
Dragonair mode? I don't even have that answer, honestly. I have no reason to like chill like here when I know if I truly know I could be operating here. But the best thing about this, and the best thing about this journey and the Schmodown journey, is that I keep discovering that about myself. I keep pushing myself further, and I keep finding those new levels that I don't even think I realized that I had. So there's no ceiling. I don't set a ceiling for myself. I don't know where that ceiling is, but I just keep blissfully discovering new heights every time I push myself. So you know, to Dragonite and beyond, I guess, like the next level Mega Dragonite, whatever is beyond that.
Yeah.
I could have some.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little lost. Yeah, I'm a little lost on my Pokemon. I don't remember the levels, but Andrew, I would think you're like a level 3 Pokemon because you're pretty high up there. I mean, we saw in 2 matches, you went perfect, you know. And I mean, Marisol can speak to this, being a Schmodown competitor and fan. Going perfect is not easy. Granted, you are in your niche is one subject, but I mean, we haven't seen that ever. We've rarely seen perfect games. You've done it twice, and one in a championship match, one in a high stakes tournament match. So, I mean, I could say, do you think there's a higher level to Andrew Dimalanta, or is it just now? It's like, all right, if one slip up will maybe cost me a match, but that's about it. Nothing's really going to get past me like before in past matches.
I mean, if you go into any match saying that there's nothing else I can do, you've already lost, especially in the Star Wars division. Like, there's always something to learn. There's always something that will always get past you. Like what I saw in my master with Thomas. Could have sworn it was 4. I went over the scene in my head. I was like, okay, so they part ways, and you know, Baltic goes past them. And there's 4 guys. 4. Could have sworn it was 4. It was 5. So there's always room for improvement. And I'm always striving to get to that next level. I mean, it's the martial artist in me. It's like, I've practiced this kick a million times, but it could still be better. And it's that mentality in me that I've always been striving for in anything that I do. It's like, I'm a video editor. I can crank this video out in 2 minutes, but it could be 1, or it looks good, but the cut could be better. So I always try to carry that mentality in with me in the Schmodown, especially because I've been bitten by it in the past of like, I've done all I can. There's nothing that I don't know. And then 88 comes up, or the 12th mooting out comes up. It's like, well, there's another hard lesson learned. So don't want to do that again. So I'm always looking for, and I'm pretty sure every competitor can say this, is like, there's never a ceiling for knowledge, especially in the singles division. I've said it to every singles competitor that I've met in person or over digital. It's like, I have no idea how you guys do it. It's like, yeah, Star Wars, like apples and oranges, whatever. We have to do obscure things that are never said in the movie. You have to do extra research. But with singles and teams, it's like, we're the movies. It's like, what?
It's like, everything.
Which one? Everything. All of them.
All of them. It's like, oh, all of them?
Ever. Yes.
Ever. Like, who was it? It was the Brittany Young match where it was like, she got confused. Unintentionally confused it with a movie from the 1920s. It's like, we're counting that one. Yeah. I didn't even know that one existed.
And PJ's over there like, yep.
Yes, you know, yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So it's like, in any division, in any facet of life lessons from Andrew Dimalanta. If you are satisfied with where you're at, then you're not going to really go much further. So never be satisfied. Never be satisfied with anything. Always strive to be better. Always strive for that little thing. When you think you can't go any further, slap yourself on the back of the head, slap yourself in the ass, wherever you want to slap yourself, and go further. Because it'll eventually, someone will eventually catch up to you and take it from you. So that's how I've always looked at it.
So Shug,
Great
what
advice.
they're trying to say is, no, we're not as good as we can be. Y'all should be scared. Okay, cool. Like, I get it. I get it, y'all.
It's just always. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, you're fine. Please.
No, it's just always like particularly with singles, like Andrew was touching on. It's always what motivates me, what drives me so much with singles is that it's a never ending journey. It's a never ending race, and every day I learn more than the day before, and because it's in a world that I adore, like cinema, like it's just always a welcome addition every day. What I learn, and it's exciting to know that like there is it can be like it sounds intimidating, like the way you're phrasing it sounds intimidating. To me, it's boundless, and that boundlessness is thrilling to me. And that's what keeps pushing me and keeps me going through, especially, and motivates me in singles and teams, especially, is because I know that there's always more to discover. I know everybody will say that in the division. Even the people who know a lot still have so much more to know. Like there's it never stops, and that is thrilling to me instead of intimidating. And it's definitely a motivational factor in why I do what I do.
For sure. Shout out to PLD. He said, did Marisol set up her lighting specifically to shine off the belt like that, just to remind us? Because I would have to. Exactly. And PLD, so are the question writers. Yeah, exactly. I wanted to bring this up because it's actually kind of cool if you think about it. You two kind of have a connection because both of you started off as fans of the Schmodown. Obviously, Andrew, you got to audition, and then Marisol, the great story of you being in Orlando, and everyone's like, and your friend was like, hey, next person to be in the Schmodown right here. Like,
where were you in Orlando? I live in Orlando.
I was all the way in the back. I was at the team's event. It was I was hiding. That's where I was.
And now she's the face of it.
If you think about it, both of you are you're the fans turn pro, and you both are champions. Like, how does that make you feel? Going, you know what? I was a fan and now I'm a champion. How does that make you think about it in a large scope of things, Andrew?
It's surreal. I've told the story many times. It's so surreal because my fandom for the Schmodown doesn't date back with the Schmodown. Like, I've been a fan of Schmoes Know for years. I followed Harloff and Ellis through the Schmoes Know days. I missed that show so much. And I would spend Saturdays and catching up on ones that I didn't watch the previous podcast. Let me catch up on it now. So like my fandom with this show is dated back way before the Schmodown. And when I debuted in Chicago, we went out for pizza afterwards, and I was sitting there. I'm like, what am I doing? I have Dagnito to my left. I've got Harloff to my right. All these other people that I followed for years, and it was just so surreal. It's like, what? Like, wow, I've come this far, and then to go on the journey that I did, it means a lot because the Thomas Harpers and the Adam Collins, they're great stories, like straight to the top, undefeated. But mine is very different. It was work for everything. I feel like I've always had this uphill battle of like trying to earn that respect that I thought I wanted, and even when I did the impossible, it felt like I was always against somebody. Somebody was always doubting me. Somebody was always saying you can't do it, and that drove me to certain times. But it's just surreal sometimes where I look at like who's in my text messages, who's on my phone now. It's like, oh, there's Christian Harloff, there's Koi Chandru, there's Bibiani, there's like 3 years. If you told me I had Christian Harloff's number like 2 to 3 years ago, it's like, you're lying. What are you saying? There's no way you'd be that close to Harloff at all. But it's like, so it's like a dream come true in certain ways. No matter the way the matches go, it's like you're doing something that you never thought you'd be able to be doing years down the road.
For sure. And Marisol?
Yeah, no, very much. For me, my roadblock was myself, which I think that there are many people who can understand and relate to that. We're the only people ourselves. We're the only person stopping you from accomplishing, what your heart wants is yourself. And I made excuses. I just was like, oh, it's like I'm just watching. There's no way I could be a part of this. Like I'm content. It just seemed like a world when I was watching as a fan and would start watching Schmoedown as a fan. It just seemed like a world so far removed from my own. Physically, obviously, because it was based in LA, and I'm 3,000 miles away in Philly. But beyond that, I was just like, these are just people who, I just very much felt on the outside, and I believed that, and I accepted that, and I allowed that to like keep myself in the background and keep myself quiet and not feel the need to introduce myself or to just stand up in the crowd or just throw myself out there or send an email or, reach out to somebody. And in Orlando particularly just broke through all of that. And I never looked back. And now that I'm here, I just, if there's any advice just in life in general I could ever give to anybody, I know people hear it. I know you always hear, and you're always taught as a kid, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and, just go for it. And it's not that easy for some people, and it's not that easy for it to have that translate, to have that manifest in real actions. And, I'm just glad at this point in my life that I finally had the courage to really actually push myself to something, push myself out of my comfort zone into something that I really loved. And I just tricked myself into believing that I couldn't actually become a part of it. And I'm just really happy that I pushed myself forward. And I would encourage anybody who's ever put those mental blockades in front of themselves to just knock them down, because there's nothing to regret once you do that.
For sure. I could totally agree with you, because when I started watching the Schmoedown, I would not believe where I am now, co-hosting a show. I never did anything like this, and now this is what I do every Monday and Friday. And I don't know if you noticed, Marisol, I tore up my leg on Friday. Never take a Jaeger again. My leg is shot. Yeah.
You say that now, Shug.
Chris saw the pitch. I say that now. Chris saw the picture. Oh, that was not the smart idea to down that thing on Friday.
Yeah, it was the first time I've ever seen Shug's legs. It was weird.
You ate that whole bottle or drank that whole bottle?
I drank the whole bottle.
Oh no!
Whole bottle, and it was
so bad I missed it. That really bums
Chris,
me
where you been? No,
where have I been, man?
Absolutely no. You're 100% right, Marisol. I mean, if you don't take the shots that you take, you never know what may happen. And both of your guys' situation, obviously, Andrew sent an audition tape, was able to audition with Harloff, and he got on the Chicago show. And look, he lost. He lost in Chicago. It was a 5-way. I don't consider those a loss, but if you want to consider a loss, fine. He plays Laura Kelly, loses to the 5-pointer, and you're like, all right. Then he runs through the tournament and then loses to Ace, and you're just like, God, like, can this guy get a break? And that's why I was so happy this year. And especially Chris remembers when you played Damon the first time, I went off. Like I couldn't even, it's hilarious. We got in trouble for putting that reaction out, because they're like, you're spoiling the match. Don't put it out. We're like, all right. Took it down, and then we put it back out.
Spoiler. Who gives
it? Spoilers.
Touchy subject this week, guys.
Right. Let's go back to benefit of the doubt.
But
we were ahead of the spoiler trend. We did that in March, April. Come on, y'all, catch up.
It's always like it's that time of year. We gotta talk about spoilers again. This is like the 5th time we talked about it, guys. Come on.
Just wait for Spectacular. Just wait. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Wait till live events come back.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. But besides that, I mean, this whole Schmoedown thing, like especially this year. This year's I said last year was really changing the game in regards to gameplay and everything, because with the lack of cutscenes and lack of really character building and all this stuff, we had to really focus on the trivia aspect. It was 100% that, and for both of y'all thrived in that, and I want to know, because I'm curious. For the two of y'all, because next season, just to look ahead, not to get too crazy, but hopefully we get more in-person stuff and we get to actually get more enthralled in that whole part of the Schmoedown that made it what it is today. And I'm curious, how amped are you guys to get into the whole character aspect, if at all, if that's something that you're interested in? I know, Lady Justice and the Hunter, I don't know exactly what we can do with those. Especially the Hunter. I don't know if you can be hunting people down in the Schmoedown, but that's besides the point. But how are y'all looking forward to actually being a part of storylines and not only the trivia, it's just building a whole character and persona more so than you already have.
I'll let you go first, Marisol.
Okay. I'm so ready for it. Not because I think I'm gonna like crush it. I'm a piss poor actress and I have no experience in it. But I also love bowling and pool and I suck at those. But that doesn't stop me from doing those. So like I'm ready. I'm here for it. I'm ready to try. I'm looking forward to it because it's the other aspect. It's what I signed up for. When I spoke to Shannon, back when I spoke to Christian in person about getting drafted for season 7 anyway, like, you know, I knew that's what I was going to be signing up for, was this world, this studio life, this performance life, you know, coming onto something that is a show and is part of trivia, but like also I would be taking on a new challenge, something that I haven't really dabbled in or tried my hand at, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready to just barrel through it. I'm not going to say I'm going to be like an ace out the gate, but now, especially with New York now in front of me, an opportunity here to now push myself in another way that I wouldn't have had the opportunity to do before. And yeah, I've been so laser focused on just focusing on the trivia because that's the opportunity that digital grants you. You know, it allows you to really, really, really focus on that trivia because there's nothing else. That's the only aspect, really, like you're saying, of the game. Now it's time to blossom a little bit more. Now it's time to shake it up and to add on to that, to build upon that foundation that I have, and test out and lean into more of embracing what the Schmodown has always been about, what it really started about. Was leaning into the characterization and building, fortifying how impressive you can be trivia wise with how engaging you can be as a personality. And that's a challenge for me. Obviously I'm not from LA. I'm not an actor. I'm not a model. I'm not some of the pros, the absolute aces that we've had in this game who have already been handling that balance pretty deftly. I'm nowhere near on that level as these incredible Schmodown competitors of the past who many of who are still playing. But I'm gonna try, and I'm leaning into it. I'm not gonna shy away from it. I'm ready for it. Can't guarantee the results will be a home run, but damn it, I'm gonna try. So I'm here for it.
You said you're pissed poor with no experience.
I gotta disagree with you. No,
yeah,
but I have to disagree with you. Did you not watch that match against you and Kevin Smith? How did you not laugh the whole time? I had no idea. So you're a great actress. Get out of here.
Did you not see me hiding behind my board the entire time?
That's what a pro would do.
Yeah, that's what a pro would do.
That's a total pro move.
You pulled that board down. You had the straight Lady Justice face, and you were good to go. You put the board up. You were probably like crying. You're like,
that's what it is.
And Andrew.
I'm excited for it because like we've tried a little bit of storytelling with, you know, my quote unquote character, because like when I came in, you only saw us like twice a year. So there's very little opportunity for us to get characters to work within Star Wars players. Mm-hmm. Then you get to the tournament and it's digital. So you can know you're handcuffed by the format to where like you really can't work on a character. We did try to, you know, I tried the heel work. My wife definitely didn't like that part of it. And it did end up come to bite me in the end because I'd never thought the heel part worked for me, and then switched to this season on going back to face. And I think that's where I really thrived. And it speaks to the creator in me because that one cutscene that me and Alex did, so much fun to do. Like, and I really wanted to be part of it because it's a side of the Schmodown that I absolutely love. And a lot of I think a lot of competitors can say agree with me. It's like, yeah, it's a lot of what we signed up for. We want to play these outlandish characters and do cutscenes and all that stuff. So I'm excited for it because you know, I want to see where my story goes, and that is like narrated to a point that isn't dictated by the trivia or what happens in the match. And it is loosely, but like I want to see what is in store for me and for my wife, for that matter, to see where that goes. So I'm excited for it. It's going to be a lot of fun to get away from the digital and get to see people and shake their hands and, you know, and riff off them as like amateur actors. So because
Exactly.
I'm 1,000 times better behind the camera than I am in front of it. Anybody that follows my YouTube channel and follows our show, we do these little things with me and Nikki out acts me every single time. She's so good at it. So I'm so happy. That's the one thing I'm really looking forward to, is getting the opportunity to see Nikki in front of the camera and show off her talents, because she's amazing at it.
Shug.
Yeah,
I can't wait for Andrew to like come back next season and him just be like incredibly sadistic. And like Nick like opens like this chamber and he's just been in there, all these Star Wars movies and books and shit. Like,
what year is it?
I'll be 100% honest with you. I'll be 100% honest with you. And Chris, you're a big wrestling fan. Had Andrew been able to beat Ace and then go on to beat Damon as the heel, he would have been the most hated person coming into this year. Like everybody would have hated him. But I think that when he lost to Ace, you saw the human side of the Schmodown, and a lot of people became big fans of him because he let his heart on his sleeve. That loss really affected him. I wanted him to stay heel. I was like, oh, stay heel. Hey, let everybody hate you. It's okay. That's fine. But I understand it kind of, you got to play into it. It kind of, and obviously your wife didn't like it, so you got to listen to her. She is the boss. We all know this. And Adam Collins talking about Marisol, her promo for this match and her street expedition proves she's got the goods. Exactly. She's got the goods.
That is a good point. That was some of the most fun I've had all year, was when I played that street exhibition against Viviani, because that's it. Thank you, Adam, for bringing that up. I briefly, I don't know how I forgot about that. That was a taste of something that I would like to do. That was something where I just got to, because it wasn't a match where which is what my matches have been this year. I've either been in tournament matches in the teams tournament or in belt runs. So I've had to either on a singles path for the belt. So all of my matches have been must win this year, so all of them I've just been no room to just chill and relax. But the street exhibition match was oodles of fun because there was no stakes there. I could have lost it and it would have been completely there would be no consequence for losing. It wouldn't have any impact on anything. So I was just so able to just try my best to kind of just riff and play off of whatever Mark or Lon were saying on the desk and just have fun with it. And that was insanely fun. That was some of the most fun I've had all year. Obviously besides winning the belt. But it was a different kind of fun. I love playing. I love being focused and playing and being in the zone. I love competition and I get such a high off of that. But I also really loved just trying to get lost in a character and trying it out and having a lot of fun that way. That was insanely fun. I would love a marriage of those two things. So yeah.
And I think what we learned over the last year and a half or however long we've been doing this whole digital thing is, we have to sacrifice characters because these Schmodown competitors are being so human. Y'all being so damn likable. You need to stop it. You need to stop being so damn likable. Please. If we're like, oh, it's such a great person, Angel's such a great guy, I feel so bad for me, lost to Ace. Or, oh my God, Marisol's so great. Look at her post interview. She's, oh my God, is she crying? Oh geez. No, y'all gonna be assholes. I think that's what we've learned.
The heel move of the day would have been when Janine came to hug Marisol and she just put this is my moment. Oh my God, that would have been the greatest thing in the world. Reddit would have lost its mind. The Facebook group would have imploded. Twitter would have just said, "What the hell's going on?"
Every black person in the Schmodown started crying. It would have been a whole thing. Granted, there aren't too many of us, but we would have been loud as hell.
And see, that's the thing. That's the thing that I would need to. I could never in a million. I am not ready for that on that level. I love Janine too much. I adore her. I was so happy to see her. I would never be able to do that. At least right now, I would not have the balls or the skills to pull it off convincingly, because I would just I'm not on that level of acting yet, and I would just be like, I'm so sorry. I would never be able to pull that off convincingly, but that would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be hard for you. For me, throwing Chris under the bus would have been simple. I'd have been like, oh, no problem.
It makes sense.
And I actually think if Nikki goes far in this tournament, I think she'll throw Andrew under the bus, no problem. Hey, Bye. You know, and speaking of that, speaking of Nikki Dimalanta, and I want to get your thoughts on this, Marisol. We said earlier that Andrew Dimalanta, I feel, is the Star Wars Player of the Year. I have argued this, but I was thinking about this today. When when the match comes out between Nikki and Ross, let's say Nikki gets past Ross. Let's say Nikki beats either Molly or Alex Damon. Then beats either Laura Kelly, Gold Leader, Scrimshaw. And then beats Thomas Harper Spectacular. It would be hard pressed for someone that's 5-0, went through a tournament and beat the man that beat the man that beat the man.
Wait a minute.
Not to be Star Wars champion. The man that beat the man who beat the man. Yeah, I'm right. Trust me. You know.
Okay.
I would argue Nikki and Andrew should be co-Star Wars Player of the Year. As much as I love Thomas, he's 5-1. Nikki's 5-0, and Andrew's 3-1. 3-1.
Now,
yes, correct.
Shug, my only takeaway from that is that you forgot to mention Eric Whiteley, Andrew's teammate, his faction mate.
That's true.
How dare you disrespect him? Like we're not here for that.
It's better than disrespecting Nikki Dimalanta. I don't want to get killed. Are you crazy?
Oh, and Nikki's gonna be here next week. She'll give you a mouthful. So you got it.
She will because she's awesome. But I know you guys don't like talking awards and stuff, and let the fans do that. But like, what is your thoughts on awards? Do you guys have them in the back of your head, or do you guys like say, no, I'm not going to think about it, that's only for fans? Or do you say, this year I want to get comeback player of the year, this year I want to get, player of the year, things like that? Because you guys are both up for, I think, at least 2 or 3 rewards.
And be honest.
Yes. And be honest. Yeah, be honest. Like, do you guys think about that, or is it just like, no, I don't try to think about that stuff?
You go, please.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's because I have my own thoughts about who should be voting for certain things. I'm on the side of like things like Player of the Year, Star Wars Player of the Year, and Nikki singles, and Team of the Year. I think players should be voting on that. Nomination can go through the fans, but like things like Moment of the Year, like Entrance of the Year, things like that, that's more of a fan perspective. But when it comes down to players, nobody can really understand players better than players. So that's my 2 cents. I think Player of the Year and of those categories, let the players decide that, because fans only see what they see. There's so much that happens behind the scenes during the recordings, during all, like I said, the Thomas Harper match took twice as long to record because of a couple of technical things that happened behind the scenes. So nobody ever gets to see that because of editing. So I'd be lying if I said like, yeah, what I'd love to be Star Wars Player of the Year. I would love to be Comeback Player of the Year, or player, because at one point I was like, I might have a shot at Player of the Year if I go all the way. But now it's like, no, that's that's definitely off the table now that my season's over. Marisol just won the singles title, so she's the front runner for that now. Yeah, I mean it's great because it's recognition. It's like that's something that I said I'm always think I'm trying to fight for is just recognition, respect, and that's like to be recognized by not just your record but by people that watch you. Like, yeah, he's the best because of this, and this, or she's the best because of this, and this. So yeah, it'd be great to win awards. I don't think at this point I have a shot at many of them anymore, but we'll see what happens. But
yeah, for sure. You should have been a Podcast of the Year award last year. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Marisol, what about you? Do you think about any? You have a good show, Andrew. I watch your show all the time. It's a really good show. So, what about you, Marisol? Do you think about those things, or do you just say it's not my I don't worry about it?
It is not I'll be like straight up and honest. It's not my goal. It's not like one of the things that I keep in mind when I'm doing what I do. Because kind of similar to what you're saying, Andrew, I was like, there's some things that I think are just like, that's the fans' call. Like I'm doing my part, and I don't want to interfere with the process of like, this is what I'm doing. I'm putting this product out here, and then on the receiving end, it's being received by people. So like, I don't want to interfere with that process over there. People receiving. I love people to just react, whether people like me or don't like me, whether they think something I did was brilliant or something I did was like dumb. Like I'm welcome. I'm open to all of it. I think it's all fair game because it's untampered. Like it's untampered with. And it's organic. I do kind of agree, Andrew, with what you're saying. Like, for the same reason that like I get really excited about the SAG Awards, because it's like actors awarding other actors, like peers evaluating
peers,
peers, you know, and I get a little more excited with some of those awards than I do necessarily about the Oscars sometimes. Because or like the DGA awards or the, you know, like that kind of stuff, because or the Writers Guild awards, because it is like you're saying, Andrew, the people who really know what it takes evaluating their peers and acknowledging their peers. Does it sound like a cheat to say like I kind of wish it would kind of be like a little bit of like in between, like both, you know, like similar to what you were saying. I think it's a really awesome idea, is that there are some things that that maybe from the player's perspective, with those specific like divisions and players of the year, could be maybe more a closed circuit for voting, or maybe like a smaller committee for voting for those, and then kind of like the general election kind of votes. I know that's getting a little involved, but to backtrack all the way back and answer your question, I'm really chill and okay with the chips falling where they may. The season's far from over, and I'm on this point now, and you know, it changes every week. If Chance wins in October, Chance is gonna like probably knock me off for some singles player of the year contention, and then he goes and defends a spectacular easily. Like the ball game is changing, and we still got the singles tournament over there. You know, you've got people like Paige Fabretti ready to make a run, Adam Collins, so many people in there.
Dameryl's in that tournament. We forget Dameryl. We forget Dameryl's in that tournament. I really wanted Marisol to be like
so many people.
I really wanted Marisol to play in the corruption game. Be like, yeah, of course, I'm going to win Player of the Year and Manager of the Year. Is going to go to Shannon.
I'm telling you, they're too nice. They're too likable.
Too nice.
I will say that. No. That one. You get me with that one. Manager of the Year is going to Shannon. Sorry.
Facts.
We'll fight on that one. It's going. The Queen better be a lock for Manager of the Year. I'll fight for that one. I'll fight more for other people more than myself. I'm gonna be really honest. When it comes to me, I'm just like, oh, whatever you guys want to do, I'm cool. And then when it comes to like my faction mates and like my manager, I'm just like, no, I will shank you if you don't vote for them. like I will get really, really, really passionate for the others. So that's where I stand.
And I know we gotta let y'all go right now, but I want to shout out Jeremy Adams in the chat, because he wrote the Meryl Streep match. It says his proudest moment as a writer. So a big shout out to Jeremy Adams. What's up, Jake Akavet? I see you in the chat. And Adam Collins has a dare to try and hug Chance. Now, I've talked to Chance maybe 3 times, and I'm going to try and hug him if I ever see him with no context. Probably doesn't remember me. That's fine. But you know what? It is what it is. But the sad part is we do got to let our guests go, because they have lives and they have other things to worry about, whether it's Star Wars or kids, like in Andrew's case, or, you know, Marisol has a busy ass season ahead of her. She has way better things to do than come talk to us. But we appreciate y'all's time coming on and Spin from the Reel for this last hour. Appreciate both of y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, it was a delight. Thank you.
Yeah. Before we go, I do want to congratulate Marisol again. You were such an inspiration for so many people in this league, regardless of your gender, your race. It shouldn't matter. What you've done is historic, and it's absolutely inspirational. So thank you for everything you've done for the league.
Thank you.
Big facts.
So much, I'm sending that back to you for a tremendous year and tremendous season you had. Truly.
Thank you.
Yeah, both of y'all are absolutely incredible.
And make sure if you don't follow both of them on Twitter. I know Marisol doesn't do a lot. She's always said this. I know Friday I asked her this after drinking Jaeger, which I apologize. So
just see the scars in his leg.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Make sure to follow her. She does have a letterbox, correct, Marisol?
I do. I need to. Yes. I need to. I'm behind on that too, but I don't know. But
it's okay.
But I use that the most. Yes, my letterbox.
My favorite thing is when Marisol rips apart movies I like. That's my favorite thing on her letterbox. It's great.
I do have thoughts. I got strong thoughts on letterbox.
And then Andrew, they can find you on Twitter. They can also find you on TikTok. Andrew does some great TikToks. He likes mine and Chris. We're very surprised when we get a like Andrew, because we're like, oh my God, we actually made him laugh or something.
I'm so addicted. I posted 2 videos today from I think I'll do this right now. It's so fun and easy. I'm so addicted to it right now.
My last Schmodown post was your match versus Thomas. Like I hadn't been posting a lot of Schmodown stuff because I was just kind of like, I do a show every day about it. I'm like, but your match got me so hyped about it. I was like, oh nope, I gotta post about this match because it's one of my most anticipated matches. And if Marisol gets past Chance, I'm probably gonna be talking about Spectacular because it's gonna be awesome because I'll be there live. You guys will all be there live. We'll all get to meet, and I'm gonna give Marisol some Jaeger so she can feel the pain I felt on Friday. It was miserable. I was so sad. And shout out! Oh, here we go.
Hi.
Well, we'll get you guys. We'll get you all on. Yeah, we will get you all on next time.
I was informed we have a Streamlabs, but if that's all right, if I can do that before we let y'all go. It's just some love from our boys over at the LBHT show. Much love. They donated $25 to our Streamlabs. I love the show. Always great conversations. Keep doing what you do. Thank y'all so much. I love y'all over there. But again, congratulations to Marisol McKee, the new singles champion of the Movie Trivia Showdown. She's like kick hella ass in New York. I love Chance. I love him. Marisol riding that wave, and we're going to keep seeing her do what she has to do without the entire Schmodown. And Andrew Dimalanta won kick-ass year to us, at least the overall Star Wars Player of the Year, and then to keep hauling ass as you go. So thank y'all so much for coming on Spinning the Reel, and hopefully this won't be the last time. We'll have y'all again. I hope y'all come back on soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You guys have a great night. Be safe.
Thanks. Bye.
Much love. Andrew Dimalanta, Marisol McKee. Thanks, you guys. Woo! Big love to our boys at Lunch Break Hot Take too for that. And Dimmy, I know we're sorry that Andrew got to meet Marisol, but next week on the show, I think we can announce this right here, right?
Nikki will be on the show. We can't announce the other person, but Nikki will be on the show. Nikki
Dimalanta will be on the show next week, talking about her match with Ross. Ross from Nowhere, Ross Arsenal, however you want to call him. But that match went up today on.
And I feel sorry for inviting her on after she loses to Ross. Like I really do, because I like Nikki Dimalanta, but the Den is going to beat her. Okay.
No, and the Den. I know how much you love your Den, but this week they had a rough ass week.
Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me.
We're the Schmodown show. We gotta talk about the Den. Yeah, but I see you, Jake, throwing shade in the chat, talking about how these folks are awesome, not us. I see you, Jake, in the chat.
Hey,
that's fine. That's fine.
How it is.
Yeah, I'll cry about it later. Yeah, well, hold up. You see that? You see all that disdain? I'll cry about that later. But it is what it is. Again, thank you all so much for hanging out in the chat. I see you, Galaxy Geeks, Dimmy, Nikki Dimalanta. I saw my boy Corey Cameron earlier. Adam Collins, thank you. I saw Ryan Christensen earlier. Jeremy Miller, Leo Logan, my best friend. But he has to Schmodown. Yeah, my boy Corey Cameron, you already know. But last week on the Schmodown, besides all this crazy stuff with the singles belt, we have 3 matches to chat about, ever so briefly. At least as brief as I can talk about them. The first one, speaking of the Den, you have PG Peggy Gubbins, friend of the channel, friend of the program, versus Adam Collins, friend of the channel, friend of the program. And Suge, man. I mean, sorry.
New releases.
New releases, man.
New releases. What are you gonna do? New releases. Peggy Gubbins, look, she had a year. She was going in there, and we talked to her, Chris. We talked to her, and she said, "Look, this is a tough matchup, but what if she could pull it off?"
Right.
And I know Adam's in the chat, but he hasn't had the best year. So was this the opportunity to kind of take him out? Sure, it was a perfect opportunity for her.
It would have been a big upset for Peggy to take.
Yeah, and as the great Ferris Mutana says, the will taketh, the will giveth, and the will taketh. And it took it. It took it from Peggy Gubbins. New releases was not her jam. She said afterwards that she did not have a chance to study it, and that's a tough break. It's a tough break. And like Marisol and Andrew were saying, singles is so vast that it's hard to get everything. And so this is the one time where it's just, it's like you think you got it all. You think the questions are going to come towards you at that moment are going to be, you're able to get, and then you get hit with a category that you just kind of had to skip over. It's tough. It's tough, and it's been a tough year for the Den.
Yeah, the Den, and I hate picking on the Den. I only pick on the Den because Shook's here. But the Den has a bunch of people that I very much enjoy talking to, and I love watching the Schmodown. PG is one of them. Peggy is definitely one of them, the Chicago native. But seeing her go against Adam, and we didn't know her opponent for a while going into this whole thing. It was in flux depending on how that little mini tournament went into, or how that all fell into its places. But going up against Adam, yeah, he may not have the best year, but it's still Adam Collins. And I think people forget that. Like, people forget that Adam Collins is still a threat, or still a force to be reckoned with, especially, yeah, he lost the belt. Whatever, fine. The belt, I don't know if y'all been watching this year, but there's a bunch of people that are really good at movie trivia. There are a ton. And Marisol is just the latest person who is at the top of the mountain. The best movie trivia-er in the Schmodown right now is Marisol McKee. That singles belt proves it. And Adam Collins had that belt earlier this year. A lot of folks have forgotten about that. We've had a crazy ass year in the Schmodown. A ton of matches since the last time we saw Adam play singles. So let's pump the brakes on forgetting how good Adam Collins is. It's just Peggy had a rough go around with new releases. And it's hard to follow Adam when he goes perfect in round one. Yeah. And he gets Harrison Ford in the second round. And if I'm not mistaken, last tournament, it may have been last tournament, one of Adam's matches had Harrison Ford category, and he actually swept that too. Or at least did a kick out.
Was it against Gallagher? Was it against Gallagher? How did we get against Gallagher?
Andres? It may have been against Andres, the FCL's Andres Gallegos. So totally.
Gallegos. Yes, I apologize for pronouncing it wrong. Yeah, no, I mean, look at Adam Collins won the belt. We know how dangerous he is. Then he loses the belt. Then he has a couple rough matches, and everyone's like,
Dan Murrell.
Oh, he's no good. He sucks. Get him out of here. What's wrong? Right. You know what? You euthanize this coyote. Let's get rid of him. And you got to remember, like, you could get on a run. He showed it last year in the tournament. He got on a run and he killed it. He might be able to go on a run now, and Guy. Okay, thank you, Jake and Saul
Gallegos.
Galapagos. Thank you.
It's Gallegos, not Galapagos. Saw on the chat.
Yeah, sloppy jalopy. I don't know. I pronounce names wrong.
My best friend Leo Logan got me. Deception got Harrison Ford against the Lethal Weapons. Thank you, my best friend Leo Logan. But like Jeremy Miller said in the chat, Adam is in tournament mode, like you were saying, Shug. Like that last tournament. Look at who he beat last year. I don't know, just some folks like John.
I mean, look, you go to John Roca, Brendan Meyer, Liz Shannon Miller, and Jeff Snyder. Good Lord.
Yo, and good Andres Lord. is none to sleep on either. I know Andres right now, the FCL zone, Andres Gallegos, but still pretty damn good.
And you know what? That Adam Collins versus Brendan Meyer next. Woo!
Again, we're running it back already, bro?
Yeah, it's a rematch.
Oh,
it's a rematch.
No. Oh,
yeah,
no.
And Saul, when are you ever right? First off, you're never right. So
much love to Saul in the chat. Appreciate it, brother.
No, don't do that. You didn't. You weren't saying that when we got off the air last week. Okay, so don't even.
Don't try to shade me, bro.
Okay, don't even say that. Don't even say, "Oh, much love to Saul," because you weren't saying that last week. You weren't saying that last week.
Everybody in the chat, Shug. That's what Chris does. He shows love to the damn chat because he loves the chat. Chris loves the chat, and that's how I'm gonna do. Whoever's in it, it could be my mortal enemy.
You love the chatter, right? Chatty Cathy. That's what I'm gonna call you from now on, Chatty Cathy.
Okay, but seeing Peggy's season end like that, it sucks, especially as someone like Adam Collins. But that's how hard the tournament is. There are no easy matchups. Like let's be frank, there are no easy matchups in this tournament because that's how many good folks we got in the Schmodown right now. I mean, just look at the next match, Barbarian and Duralde. Same thing. Two folks who know a lot about movie trivia. It's just that somebody has to win, and the third round is what sunk the Den in both cases with Peggy and with Duralde. And Duralde season
Chris. Keep rubbing it in, Chris.
his singles season ending like that to the Barbarian, like it's rough. And seeing him miss a second round question, I don't know if that's ever happened ever for Duralde. But the Den, besides Thomas Harper, much love to Thomas Harper, the Den, I believe they're eliminated from the tournament. Like that's all for all four folks.
Yeah.
Like it's been a rough week.
They're limited. Yep. And thank you for pointing that out. Now we're never going to have a Den member on the show ever again.
Excuse me? I'm just stating fact.
I mean, outside of IG and Star Wars, the Den has had a rough time. Hopefully in the team's tournament, it turns around with Duralte and Riley, which is going to be a tall order. But, it's been a tough go, and I'll say this. I think Kate, without getting a marquee singles player, as good as Preston and Goddard are, I think her focus this year was IG Star Wars because she knew she had great players that could get to the championship. I think with everybody else, there could be, they could surprise, somebody in the tournament, or they could, go on a run, and it just didn't happen. Peggy was on a run prior, and then she lost to Rick Radis. If she gets past Rick Radis, she might be in a title hunt.
Rick the Rash Radis, my favorite. Yeah. Oh my God, yes. I love him.
And so I think that's just the luck of the draw this year for the Den. I don't think it had anything to do with just bad managing or anything like that. I just think they ran into situations that were unfavorable, and they just they didn't have that player, that Ben Bateman, Dan Merle, Ethan Irwin, Marisol McKee player. They had good players in Ben Goddard, in Alonso, in Paul Preston. I think they were just if she had been able to get a Ben Bateman on the Den or kept Marisol, I feel like things would have been different in singles and teams, but we'll see what happens.
I mean, the Den definitely had plenty of opportunities, and I know she was banking on Paul Preston doing better this go round compared to his last season with the in the Schmodown. And a lot of folks did. A lot of folks are riding high on Paul Preston, as they should. His performances this year have not been bad. Same thing can be said for Ben Goddard. It's just look at the competition that they've played. That's the thing. And much love to Leo Logan in the chat. Look at this stat, Shug. Alonso missed the round 2 question for the first time since What the Flick versus Rotten Tomatoes in 2017.
That's crazy.
I don't know what I was doing in 2007. I was in college still. What the hell? But
that was 4 years ago. That was 4 years ago.
It was 4 years ago. Yeah, which is crazy as hell.
I was working security at Target. Yeah.
See, that's the last time Alonso Duralde missed a round 2 question. I was still waking up, going to class every morning, and you were still working at Target, like on some shit. Yeah. That's how much time's gone.
Yeah, and I get where Jeremy's coming from. People have, I mean, we talked about people have lives, so they gotta, commit to other things. And I think this is the passing of the guard. A lot of the older players are going out; they're leaving, and the newer players that have the time, that have the knowledge, and have the ability to play consistently are coming in. And that's nothing against them. It's life is life. So I feel no ill will against Riley. Would I like to see them in the tournament? Absolutely. I would have liked to see Ben Goddard in the singles tournament. It's just the record. You're like, and he said it. You put me in, I'm playing like Dan Merle. I'm playing the Barbarian. I'm playing Adam Collins. He's playing Bateman, which I would have loved this saw.
The backstage Civil War, that would have been fun.
Yeah, he's put in a bad situation. So I mean, you could criticize it, but it actually makes sense. Like, why are you going to put him in a bad situation to possibly just lose again and be 0-6 this year? And for what? Put a rookie in, see what they could do. Maybe they surprise somebody. Maybe Jessica Sloth gets there and beats a damn run.
I was praying for it, man.
Yeah, and so
that would have been awesome.
Like again, it's been a tough year for the Den, but they still have opportunities. They have possibly to. Brian, I get it. He had an 0-4 season, but I mean tournaments are different. Adam Collins was a rookie, and they put him in.
Yeah, and I mean, anything's possible in the Schmoedown. Anybody could be anybody on any given day. And Corey Cameron, I see your comment. Riley had his shots too. Any given Schmo day. Shout out to Corey Cameron and our boy Dagan. You already know. But yeah, Riley had his shots too, just didn't pan out. And a lot of these seasons got derailed because, as I mentioned when we were talking to Andrew and to Marisol, the last 2 seasons, like, since we've been lacking a lot of the character stuff, or at least last season they very much tried, and this season they very much tried. But for the most part, it's all trivia. It's all the sports that we've all fallen in love with, right? And that's the one aspect we all have to focus on. And imagine that, but everybody's in it. Everybody is going at 100%. They're just absolutely bringing it any given day. Remember, any given Schmo day. Remember, Shug, at one part of the Schmoedown's long history, where we would have folks who, like, they were like it was like the Dan Murrows, the Sam Levines, the Rachel Cushings, the folks that we knew would have a kick-ass performance regardless of the day. And then there were some other folks who were there for different reasons, and they would just play, like the all-time 500 player Josh McCouga. Like he was real big on the theatrics and would just show up when Christian asked him to. You know, that's why he's had like 50 matches. But now everybody is performing at the Levine, Cushing, Murrell, Bibiani, and Draco, Snyder, Chance. Everyone's on the same level now. Everybody's performing at that high level. And watching these performances, whether it is Gubbins and Collins, or if it's Barbarian and Duralde, or even on Friday's match with Bancroft and with Meyer, you know, like everybody's absolutely bringing it. And yeah, shout out to Corey Cameron, the eye emojis. You know, he keeps his eye on us. We got your eye on you too, Corey. Jeremy Miller in the chat. I wouldn't count out the old guard, but Riley has to get Alonso in the game for this team's tournament. Who do they play? And who's their first round? I forget who the old guard's playing first. And Jeremy Miller also in the chat. My suggestion for Riley was because he had a big win against Liz. Right. You're muted, Chug.
Who's the Merc team?
Whoo! Is it Final Exam? No, it's not Final Exam.
That's Swag.
Oh, duh. The Mercs.
Press room.
Thank you. Press room versus the old guard. Yo, that's a good one. I don't want to get too far ahead on predictions, but whoo, that's a goodie. That's a real good one. I really dig press room in the old guard, even though Josh Horowitz is having himself one hell of a year. Yeah, the press room's has some L's, but he's performed well in those losses too. So who the hell knows? But Riley and Duralde, especially with how high Duralde got drafted. I know we're still talking about the draft 9 months later, but with how high Duralde got drafted, you would think he'd participate more. But again, maybe you just don't know. Life happens, things change, and we didn't get to see too much of Duralde this year. But with him and Riley on a team together, this could be some good stuff. Now, I'm really rocking with this old guard with Riley and Duralde. But again, seeing Duralde, because Duralde got oh my god, why am I blanking on it in the second round? But he, like him and Craig were definitely, or excuse me, him and Barbarian were definitely going blow for blow. And it's just that third round, man. Like he made Barbarian answer some questions, but still, that third round is what sunk the Den this week. And it sucks to see the Den already. Tom Hanks, thank you, Leo, my best friend in the chat, really saving my ass. But seeing him, struggle in the third round, it's always hard to watch somebody struggle, especially after the Den had that loss on Wednesday with Gubbins and Collins.
It's very hard to watch you struggle when Marisol McKee's on. It's very hard. It's very
me?
It's very hard. Yeah.
Why are you digging at me right now?
I just feel like digging at you. You've been gone. Okay.
I think this is my second show back after I took like a month off. Like, I was moving.
I'm glad I'm glad you're back on Mexican Heritage.
It's Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm wearing my little.
Is it Hispanic or Mexican?
It's Hispanic Heritage Month. Yes.
Hispanic Heritage Month.
Mexican Independence Day was a few days ago. And shout out to all my Latinos, regardless of where you're at in the world, all my Latinos, all my Hispanics. But it's cool being back, Shug, and I'm so glad that you're happy that I'm back. But you got to dig at me, bro.
You're lucky. You're lucky because you're talking about telling Marisol, oh yeah, picking this pick. I was like, he hasn't picked you guys in God knows how long. Okay, he's not picked a corruption match, but I didn't do it because I didn't want to embarrass you.
The past is the past.
Oh, okay, Rafiki. Okay, Rafiki. Is this the Lion King now? Am I Simba? Am I Simba now and you're Rafiki?
Why are you Simba?
That sounds, yeah.
Like, you're like scarred to me right now. Oh my God.
Wow. I'm the bad uncle? Are you kidding me? Really? You couldn't at least call me Timon?
I'm like the Mufasa, like hanging off, like not to fall.
I couldn't be Pumbaa? Hakuna Matata?
You can be the Puma. You can be the Puma to my Timon, or by
yeah. So what's Matt?
Matt could be Simba. Matt would like it if he's Simba.
I don't know. We could be Simba. He could be one of the hyenas.
That's all three of the hyenas combined.
There you go. They're all three.
Much love to Matt Thomas, who couldn't be on the show today as if things come up. But Showdown, that's what we're here for. Movie trivia.
No, we're not.
I don't want this to turn into Shmow Me the Real. I don't want this to turn into that.
No, it's not. There's no Jaeger right now, so we're good.
Thank God. But Friday, I got Jacoby Bancroft and Brendan Meyer. Another crazy ass matchup to these two dudes. And Jacoby Bancroft is no damn joke. But Christian, whoever's booking him in these matches, obviously must not like him because they're giving him Brendan Meyer's like high A, pushing S tier if he already ain't there. And this match is a barn burner down to the last damn question. And what else do we expect? What else do we expect out of these two dudes? It sucks seeing that. Excuse me, Dragon in the chat. What's going on, Dragon? Haven't seen you in the live chat in a minute. So did y'all find out who Kratos is? Oh, just like in general? Like, I don't think so, unless there's something new. The only Kratos I'm aware of is the one from God of War. Leo Logan in the chat. Round 3 was just not on Jacoby's side. Steel's a terrible superhero.
Look, I remember when that movie was coming out and we were hyped for it because it was Shaq, and
Diesel,
Steel, and it came out like, I believe, I might be wrong, but I'm trying to remember, right when Death of Superman had came out, or prior Death of Superman, and they had the comic books where you had the Eradicator, you had Steel take over. So it was like, oh my God, Steel! Oh my God, and then that piece of garbage. Good
I've never
Lord,
seen it.
It's freaking horrible. Horrible.
I know. Maybe I was gonna tweet out something earlier, but I forgot. So come October, I'm gonna not be on here I will not be in this space anymore. I'll be in my own space with a buddy of mine, moving in with him. And I was gonna be like, oh yo, let's do a watch along on what? Because we said we were gonna do one a long time ago, we never did. Corey Cameron, I still haven't forgotten, bro. And I'm like, oh, it would be a fun movie to get back to. I was gonna say, let me watch Malignant on the channel. Because let me suffer for the sake of the channel. And we should watch Steel. Shout out.
And Dragon, I don't remember Friday. So
why'd y'all bring up Kratos by name? Like,
no idea. Bro, can we not talk about
Friday? Kratos on the subreddit.
You don't know who you are.
Yeah, and big love to Video Drew for our favorite guest on Shmow Me the Real.
Shug was a little under the influence that night.
Yeah, Shug on Shmow Me the Real is a woo. That's he's a whole different beast on Shmow Me the Real. I mean, all of us are. We're all on 10 when we do those nights. And Astro in the chat, what's going on, Astro? Steel, drunk stream alert? Steel? Is it that bad?
Steel is bad, dude.
Yo,
Meteor Man is better. I'd rather watch
Wayne brother. I forget which one it is.
No, Meteor Man. No, that's Blink Man. No, Meteor Man is better. I would rather watch a low down dirty shame than Steel.
Yo, why?
I would rather watch Varsity Blues with you. I'd rather watch Django Unchained with you and feel uncomfortable than watch.
Why would you feel? Django Unchained kicks ass.
Yeah, but I feel uncomfortable the whole time because it keeps saying words. Come on.
You know, I bet if we were like reading the script, you'd feel uncomfortable. But we're watching the movie. That's besides the point.
That is besides
yes,
the point.
that steal question really sunk Jacoby in that third round. And Jeremy Miller in the chat, if you watch any Shaq movie, it's Kazam and Blue Chips.
Kazam is horrible too. Blue Chips is good. Because they didn't tell him to act in that movie. They just told him to play basketball, and he did.
I've never seen Shaquille O'Neal in a movie, at least. No, I lied.
Blue Chips is really good. Blue Chips is really good because it had Anthony Hardaway, him, and then they had some other dude, and it was about college ball and paying athletes and everything like that. So it's really good. But he didn't have to act; he just had to play basketball. He had a couple of here or there acting points, but Kazam too, horrible.
And I haven't seen Kazam. But back to Jacoby Bancroft. Jeremy Miller in the chat mentioned a little bit earlier that Jacoby has some of the toughest matchups. Blunden, Griffey, and then Brendan. Like that's a killer's row. Like Jacob Blunden, talk about just like bad matchups. Like that's the epitome of my man's year. Griffey Nooms, look at what my man's doing now. He's he's going to New York and facing off against Josh Horowitz, and what is going to be a kick-ass match. And I'm assuming the undercard for the corruption singles title match. And then Brendan Meyer. Like Brendan Meyer, we've talked about him on the show a ton, and we've had the pleasure of talking to him on Shmo Me the Real, which you can catch after every pay-per-view. It alternates channels, Shmo Me the Real and us. Just follow us on Twitter at Spin from the Real down at the bottom for when we do Shmo Me the Reals, because they are fun, a ton of fun to do, and I haven't done one in a minute. I had to get back into those. I miss our boys that Shmo Me the Money. But of course, Jacoby Bancroft has had himself one hell of a year. He has great performances in those matches. Nooms, Blunden, Brendan, they're great showings. It's just look at the talent, and like he got past Blunden, and like obviously the match with Griffey, and then Brendan. Like it's rough, and it's rough to see these great performers go out against great talent, especially when they're good. But damn, Jacoby's gonna come back like a ball of fire. He's gonna come back with a whole head of steam going into next season. But he's gonna be one busy ass dude in the Schmodown, 100%. Corey Cameron doubling down. Blue Chips is fire.
Blue Chips is really good. If you're into basketball, it's a really good. I forgot who the other dude that's in the movie. I don't know if he played NBA, but it was Shaquille O'Neal, Anthony Hardaway.
I've never heard of Blue Chips.
Oh, it's so good. It's really the whole college athlete that want, like, there's a part in the movie where they go to him and they go, "We want you to come to school." He goes, "Okay, I want $75,000 and a tractor for my dad."
See, like,
and
this
then,
is never mentioned when people talk about basketball movies. I never heard.
But the coach is trying not to play like that, and then like he has to get these players because they want to be like national champs. Because they end up playing Bobby Knight in one of the games.
Oh, Bobby Knight's in it. Okay, you know what? I've never heard of Blue Chips. I'm gonna have to do my research.
You've never heard of Blue Chips?
I've never heard of Blue Chips. Like when people talk about sports movies, or even to be more specific, basketball movies, I never hear about Blue Chips. Never. I've never heard of that until today.
What was the other one with Homegirl that used to be on Cheers? Sunset Park. Remember that one? That was one of my favorites. Sunset Park. What time is it? It's time to represent. It's time to get down. It's time to represent. You don't remember that movie?
No, I don't.
Oh, you remember Cheers, right?
I do remember
the bartender,
yes,
with the curly hair.
Mm-hmm. I remember Cheers.
And she gets a job as a basketball coach in the city. Yeah, he really is. He really is.
I turned 24 about a month ago. I'm a little too young for these folks out here. Sunset Park is great too.
Yes, Sunset Park. It was one of my favorite movies to watch back in, like, today. I was driving home and I was or before I drove home, I was watching the ending of Last Dragon, and I was thinking about Corey Cameron when I was watching.
That was the other movie for our double feature. It was Ghost.
Yeah, but I had to say this: you kind of look like Bruce Leroy.
Excuse me, like right now?
Yeah. No, not right now, but like
just in my face.
Yeah, you look like him. You look like a young Bruce Leroy. Maybe not as buff. You're not as buff.
No, I'm not.
But anyway, we're going off topic. Yeah.
Again, it's turning the Shmomi the run. I didn't want that. Jacoby Bancroft and Brendan Myers. So I know Corey asked us earlier, but is the next matchup Collins and Meyer? Are you kidding me? That's what's going on for them next in this bracket. Like, I don't have the bracket pulled up in front of me, but if that's legit, then holy God.
Yeah, it should be right here.
Oh, hello. Shout out to
yeah. It's Brendan Meyer versus Adam Collins. God.
Are you kidding me?
Running it back.
That's match of the year. I'm kidding. I'm not, but I am. Leo Logan in chat. How about Jill giving Hannah shade in the post interview? Yeah, like, is that what we're doing now? I didn't know. I mean, like Jen Sturger used to stir the pot a lot when we were in studio. But like, yeah, like, didn't Jill just start doing post interviews? Like, didn't she like just start doing not too long ago? Like, we're already like stirring the pot. Okay, cool. Yeah, Dragon. That's the eyes. that's us. Like, oh, okay, cool. But no, I want to pull up this singles tournament one more time because that's insanity. And again, much love to our buddies over there at Certain Point of View. So Doral Day Barbarian, I got Oyamo Harley. Like, look at this crazy ass. Oh geez, this tournament's so ridiculous, and I'm eager. And we're gonna talk about it more because the matches we got this week. I know we have a couple that pertain to the singles tournament, if not the entire week is in regards to the singles tournament. But this is nuts. And Jacoby's heel promo with Hannah. I mean, if you're paired up with someone like Brandon Hannah, who was managing Jacoby in this case, I think it's hard for people to not play into that heel aspect, not play into that heel part or that face part if your manager's a face. I think that's why Andrew's told us this, Shug, like why the Hunter. Not only because Nikki told him she didn't like the heel stuff, but imagine Andrew Dimalanta being a heel with Coy as your manager.
It wouldn't work. I liked the Hunter heel aspect. I know he said he didn't care for it and it affected him, but I liked it. I dug it. I loved it. But it wouldn't work. Now if he was on Corruption, possibly Dungeon. Dungeon would have been a little hard. Finstock Exchange maybe. But Corruption, I think it would have fit perfectly. But Corruption.
I think it depends on the manager. Like I know, like Kaiser could definitely be a heel if he cut a heel promo if he wants to. He can go.
Did you know we had Kaiser on Friday?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I watched part. Yeah, I was watching it.
I
was at work watching the thing, and
I don't remember nothing.
You're like me at our 250 sub show. Don't remember a lick of it, but the matches that we got this week are, I mean, like that tournament's hard. This tournament's awfully rough because the Schmodown has elevated so much since the last tournament that we had. Remember last tourney? It's like, who are these rookies? Adam Collins. What? Yeah. And then now we're like, oh my God, Adam Collins may run through this whole thing again. Like, who the hell knows? I believe it was Jeremy Miller earlier saying, Adam is in tournament mode. We saw what happened last time. He could easily run it back. We could see Corruption v. Corruption again. That's spectacular. The hell knows?
Which would be great. Which would be awesome.
It'd be nuts. Yeah. Brandon Buckingham. What's going on, Brandon? BB. Got Shug. Oh, man. I'm so mad. I haven't been on Show Me the Real in a minute.
And remember, how we always say, like, even that day, we weren't going to do a show. We weren't. I remember.
Oh yeah, and
we did this show, and I actually remember telling Jeff, we're gonna go like an hour at most. I really don't want to go all night. Like, yeah. Freaking 12 o'clock at night. I'm sitting here on my computer.
Yeah. Even the after party, the after stream.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, but we got the matches we do have. So
is there a pay-per-view this week?
No. There's no pay-per-view. I mean, it should be a pay-per-view. Ben Bateman versus Paige Fabretti. But
God, here we go.
Do you really want to talk about Ethan and Marisol McKee? Do you want to give your thoughts?
Oh, like my 2 cents?
Yeah, give your 2 cents. And then we'll go on to predictions for the next matches.
We got to do wheel slides of the week because we almost forgot last week. But in regards to Ethan and Marisol, like I said, I was late to the party. I wasn't at work. I was at Riot Fest. It was when I got home from Riot Fest. But when I was there at the actual festival, and I was in between sets, I was looking at my phone, waiting for Lupe Fiasco. Shout out to all my Lupe Fiasco fans in the chat, if there are any. But I get the message, and from our little Shmow Me the Real group chat, it's like Marisol won. She beat Ethan, and I was like elated to hear that Marisol won. I was so happy because I've talked about how I think like she's an incredible, one of the best, if not the best, singles player in the whole Shmonan all season. And when I was on the Inside Overtime, shout out to Tim Sim. I know my man's been going through it the last couple of days, but shout out to Tim Sim. I was on his show and I was talking about Marisol and Ethan. This match meant a lot to me as a Schmodown fan. And for reasons that we alluded to earlier, like we've seen... No, this shut up, Shug. We've seen this show. We've seen this. We've seen the Schmodown evolve over the last few years, and especially now, and watching folks in the Schmodown, like this is gonna sound super cliche and super whatever, but watching folks in the Schmodown that look like me or that come from different backgrounds like me. Like it's very surreal to see it. And now, like having Ethan beat Dan, which the receipts on this show, I didn't think it was going to happen, but it did. Thank God. I like new things. I like change. Change is good. And then we hear that like Marisol's going to face Ethan Irwin. Oh my God. Ethan, who's had himself one hell of a year, another player of the year candidate, Ethan Irwin. He's had himself one hell of a year. And now it's Marisol's turn. Marisol wins. And in her first five rounder, she crushes it. And the reaction, again, I said this last week talking about Thomas Harper. I'll say it again about Marisol. The after I won reaction has become so iconic in the Shmodown. Shug, you've gone on record crying when Andrew Dimalanta won earlier this year. And he was punching his desk, and Thomas Harper was like, "Oh my goodness!" Like I was so happy when these folks won because again, it's become so personable. And to me, sometimes it's bigger than movie trivia. At least Shug in our little conversations that we have outside the show, I talk about like the Schmodown's way bigger than movie trivia because it is. Whether people like that part or not, the Schmodown is not just who gets the most points by the end of the 3 or 5 rounds. It's the people involved and the relationships we built and the people we get to talk to and all these different things. And it means a lot to us. It means a lot to everybody in the chat. That's why we're all here. And again, seeing Marisol succeed and win the belt as a fan, making her way all the way up 14 months later to win the damn singles belt off of Ethan Irwin, a legacy player in the Schmodown, was super surreal to me. And even watching the match back on Saturday, like this is nuts. It was absolutely nuts. And I was elated to see her win the belt. And now my little corruption soul is going to be crushed in New York. Thank God I'm not, at least as much as I would love to be there, I can't. But it's going to be one hell of a showing. And hopefully people don't get too mad when the spoilers come out after that show. So who knows?
Let's not talk about spoilers because
we're the pioneers of spoiling shit before it happens.
I mean, there was a Reddit post about me spoiling the match, so I apologize. And
that was me. I posted it. I was so mad.
I know you were because you're an ass, you know. All right, so we got. Let's talk about the matches coming out this week. Let's predict them and let's get out of here.
Yeah. Before we do that, big love to Jeremy Miller. I did like the interviews in the beginning, and the Janine hug in the post interview was great. Yes, 1,000%. And Corey Cameron, 1st to 15th all day. You already know what the moves are. Corey Cameron. All right, Shug, go ahead.
Nikki Dimalanta versus Ross. I can't say his
Arsenal.
Last name, Arsenal. I can't say his last name, and he's part of the den, and I should know him. But not Ross from nowhere. he's gonna end the Dimalanta season. Okay, he's gonna end it. You know, done, over with. I love Nikki, but over with. Okay,
It's
Ross,
so brutal.
Because look at the din, man. We had a bad week. He's gonna help us out. We might see our first KO in the. No, I'm not gonna.
Now you're lying.
I'm not gonna disrespect like that. No, but I got Ross in this match.
Okay, a real on brand. I love that you stay on brand. You know,
unlike some people on the show.
Oh, it's Arsenal. I thought Arsenal. How about that? Thank you, Corey, for correcting us. Arsenal. But I'm going with Nikki. I've gone on record saying that Nikki.
Such a brown noser.
Nikki's one of my favorite guests we've had on the show. When we had her on, was it a month ago? However long, 2 months ago, however long it was. That was the first time I had met her, and like it was a lot of fun. So Nikki Dimalanta, and you were just talking about how she could run through this tournament. She's proven that she's really damn good.
You gotta pump her up a little bit. Come on, man. You gotta pump her up a little bit.
And let's stop.
I want Andrew to come back on the show. You know.
Whoa, come on. We can't have both of them on. I'm rocking with Nikki. And I was gonna say this earlier, but I didn't because Andrew was here. We kept referring to Nikki as Andrew's wife. No, Andrew's Nikki's husband. Let's keep that moving going forward. Just let the record show. All right, Shug, what's on Thursday?
We got Mike Kalinowski versus Paul Walter Hauser.
Oh God, bless America.
So are you going with the rookie, the actor, or are you gonna go with Mike, the veteran, the actor? Because Mike is an actor.
Yes, he is. The winner of this match is going to definitely be a white dude. I'll tell you that. That was so out of pocket. Why'd I say that? I'm picking Kalinowski. I'm going with the
finally pick the corruption win. First time in your life. You know, Jesus Christ.
Leo Logan got
how can you be a fan of corruption and never pick them to win?
Oh, like KO. Thank you, Corey Cameron. Never picked them. Shut up. I never picked them.
KO. We're going with KO here. Mike Kalinowski back in the singles tournament. He's going to avenge his loss to Perry last year and show that was a fluke and beat Paul Walter.
Yeah, PWH is good though. And he's a good. They're both. I'm a fan of both of them. Like I love PWH and Corella. Like he was a lot of fun in Corella, but I got Kalinowski. Hell yeah.
And the match that we're all looking forward to. Paige Fabretti versus Ben Bateman. Let the record show. Go watch the bracket breakdown. I said Paige was going to run through this tournament and meet Marisol as spectacular.
Whoa.
Okay? That is what I said was going to happen in this tournament, and it's what's going to happen. Y'all better get ready for the most shocking upset of the year. Okay, upset of the year.
All right,
is going to happen.
Okay. So first of all, to go back for a minute, Jeremy Miller also has Paul Walter Hauser. Okay, I see a lot of Hauser hype in the chat. But Leo says that Paige is going to go to round 3. That Paige didn't get by Bateman. All right. Well, I know they had their little moment on the show a few weeks ago.
It kind of made you cry.
It did. Yes. Because I don't like when my friends fight. Big fan of Ben Bateman. And I think Paige like she's incredible, and big fan of the Boston Badass. Brian also
go ahead do it. Pick against her.
Corey Cameron in the chat. I have Bateman, but I want Paige to win. Jeremy Miller. If KO wins this week, then Corruption is in first place. That's what I like to hear. Brian, thank you so much. And Jeremy also has Bateman, but Paige can pull it off. You just can't. You don't mess with the Zohan mistakes. Okay. I want Paige to kick hella ass. It just sucks that she's facing Ben Bateman, who I've gone on this show. I've gone in screaming matches with Matt and with Shug about Ben Bateman to the point where I think they're being borderline disrespectful. And I don't like it. I don't like the Ben Bateman slander. I never have. I never will. Ben Bateman's one of the best players in the league, in the whole league. But I just hate that Paige has to be on the losing end of the Ben Bateman match. Look, I know, like Paige, friend of the show,
about disrespect,
friend of the channel, friend of For Chris's Sake, coming back very, very soon. Friend of the like she's fantastic. Love talking to her. Friend of mine, not only friend of the show, friend of mine. I consider Paige a friend. She's great. But Ben Bateman, dude, let's stop the Ben Bateman hate. Like, when did Ben Bateman become Ben Hateman? Like, why are y'all hating him so much? I got Ben. It's. I'm sorry. Like Paige, you know I love you, but come on. Come on, y'all. Like, we gotta stop with the Ben Bateman diss. We really have to before Chris gets upset again, and y'all don't want to see me when I'm angry, because Matt's not here, so Suge will be getting all of it. It's gonna be a whole thing. Party in chat.
What do you mean?
Party in the chat. Ben for the win. Thank you. And Brian in the chat. Winner of Paige. Ben plays the winner of Griffey Noobs and Josh Horowitz. Oh my god. Oh jeez. Oh Jesus. Jeremy Miller.
Which is
Go ahead.
Which is kind of crazy.
What?
You know that they're going to be playing each other.
This.
Yeah,
this is nuts. That's a kick-ass. I want to see. I would like to see like Ben Griffey or Paige Griffey or Ben Horowitz would be fun. Paige Griffey Noobs would be a ton of fun to watch. So don't get me wrong. I love Paige Robetti. She's one of my favorites. I love the Boston Badass. But it just sucks that she's playing Ben. Like, it just sucks that she's playing Ben. Jeremy Miller. Ever since Team Action broke up, that's how it's been going. Chris and joining the dungeon with Dan. Like the day Team Action broke up is the day I think a part of me died. Team Action, I've gone on record saying it's still my favorite team, the Schmodown ever. I love Team Action. Both Guy and Ben, both fantastic dudes. Some of my favorite competitors ever. But you know what? Like things just been not going so hot, and my boy King Khan in
the house. You know what's gonna be like. Chris. You know what's gonna be like on Friday.
Oh God!
You just shook up the world. How's that feel? Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Yeah. Is that to be Paige to Ben? Is that what
that's gonna be Paige to Ben right there?
Nah, man. I got Ben, and
I must seem like the biggest Ben hater ever.
You are, because you are. It's stop with the hate. I know you love hating on Ben Bateman. It helps you sleep at night. But look, man, like, I'm tired of the Ben Bateman slander. I really am tired of it. I do want to talk about King Khan's comment for a second. King comment, if Bateman loses, his career will be going south. Sheesh.
Look it. Everybody was talking crap about me when I said if Bateman don't do anything this year, it's a failure. Okay, he loses Friday.
There's still teams.
And then he play. And if he loses to Drew McQueen and Paige Robetti in the first round,
they play each other again. Oh my God.
He has to go. He has to get to the championship in teams or in singles, or else it's a failure.
First of all, King Khan, I remember. It's a good little reference. I see you. Good little punski. Second of all, Ben Bateman's come on this show. He was so kind to come on this program, especially after Suge talking so much crap about him all season. Him and Matt. Suge and Matt have been poo-pooing on Ben Bateman.
Ben Bateman's a great guy. Don't get me wrong.
Fantastic. Great dude.
The boss?
Music.
The boss?
You're such a hater, bro. Okay.
The
Shug, I understand.
Actually, and Brian brings this up and says Ben isn't having a great season. He actually is not having a bad season.
He's not.
That's the crazy part.
Right.
That
and
is
maybe
crazy.
That's what I don't like about the whole failure of a season thing, because it implies that it was bad. It implies that it was bad.
It was bad. In his expectations, it's bad. Okay. And look if he beats Paige for Brady, we great story, yada yada. He moves on. But if he loses, Chris,
Shug.
And not only that, has to play her in the team's tournament.
Okay, now.
My goodness.
So maybe this whole time we've been bickering and bickering.
Ignore that person saying my government name in there. Nobody says my government name. But he's
you posted your diploma on Twitter with your full government name on it, mind you.
I did. But, I'm sorry. Congratulations. I'm sorry. I graduated, Chris.
Congratulations, Shug. You graduated from school. Everybody give some love to Shug in the chat. Much love.
You make it seem like I graduated from high school.
What?
Yo, you said that. Oh, no. You graduated, Shug.
No, I'm not out here mocking you. I'm not mocking you. So first of all, see, Jeremy Miller, much love. Congrats.
Thank you, Jeremy. See? Coming from Jeremy, I appreciate it. Coming from Chris,
God.
It's like he's down talking me. Oh, you graduated from high school. I expected Chris to be like, you got your GED finally, huh? Oh yeah.
Shut up. So first thing is
Jared, hold on.
You're not sure. Wait a minute. Look, we've uttered from the jump that this Shug Knight 323 is not the Shug Knight. That's what we've said. We've set out to get them confused. That there's a Shug Knight and then there's Shug Knight. You know, like
the Shug Knight,
and there's Shug Knight. Like we need to pump the brakes. But the thing I want to talk about for a second is the whole failure conversation, because Shug, we've bickered about this on the show before. Me, you, and Matt have gone back and forth. And maybe, dare I say it, my issue is with Ben. I don't like how Ben phrased that from the beginning of the season, where we didn't win a belt. He'd considered a failure. Not because that, like, oh, why would he talk so down about him? It's more so that it's like you lay out this expectation, it's already set expectation for you, and anything lower than that is a bust. And that's the issue with me. Like Leo Logan put his record earlier in the chat. He's 6-3. So
that's a freaking good year. 6-3,
especially with how the Schmodown is now.
That's a great year.
Great record.
But it's gonna go back to what we said about Adam Collins. Adam Collins played his mind out last year. He only had one way to go, and that was down. He was the champion. Unless he defended all the way to the end, it was going to be his expectations are as fans to him were going to be down if he didn't win. Granted, I mean, what do you expect? He went on such a run. So you're and Dragon said that too. 6-3. Plus, he was in the finals of the free for all.
Right,
he's had a great year. But expectations are, when you are great, championships, Lakers, Celtics, New York Yankees, not the Chicago Bears, Pittsburgh Steelers. Your expectation is championships, okay? And when you start the year, that's what you expect. Right. He's had a great year. You know what I see when I see the 6-3 plus the free for all?
What do you see?
He finished 10-7, made it to the first round of the playoffs, maybe the second, and then lost. When you were expected to win with the Super Bowl, that's what I see. And I guarantee you, Ben. You talk to Ben down the line, he'll say, "Yeah, I had a good year, just didn't get there where I needed to."
Right.
Exactly. And so it's not like I'm trying to shit on him. I'm really not. But when your expectations are championship or bust, and then you go and get with the guy we consider the greatest of time,
right?
And he only has one more opportunity, If it doesn't work out as far as singles, that's tough, man. That's tough.
Right.
It's tough, and that's what I'm saying. Like you, and you know, it's like it's tough, man. Ben's a great player. He is probably the greatest tactician in Schmodown history.
Facts.
He knows the game in and out. He knows the history. He knows everything about it. I just think it's just, man. I think I'm going to ease up on legacy for him this year. It'll be a disappointing year, but I don't think it hits nicks his legacy so bad. We're not harping on it.
Yeah, let's not do that now. I don't want to, and I'm not saying you're legitimately saying that. It's more so like he set those expectations for himself, and Marisol said it earlier. Like you're the only person that can get in your way. So of course he's going to set those expectations for himself, and he'll consider that a failure totally. But for me, as a fan, just as an innocent bystander who does the show every Monday, you know, watching him be 6-3, potentially 7-3, depending how this match goes this Friday, and then jump into the teams tournament.
He could easily, Chris. He could easily win 4 or 5 in the singles tournament, and 2 or 3 in the
then
teams,
run through teams,
and then be in spectacular trying to go for 2 belts.
Right.
So I understand what you're saying, that there's still an opportunity, but you go back and look at the beginning of the year, what was expected to now. Well, I would not have expected this. I would not expect this.
Oh, I mean, neither would have.
I for sure thought they would have the teams belt.
I thought, yeah, because Danger Zone on paper makes the most sense. But again, the Schmodown, we can't just be like, oh, yo, the 2 best got together. It's impossible now. Anything is possible in the Schmodown. Anything, anybody could be anybody. Like, I know everyone was like, oh man, why'd they put Schloth against Merle? You have Dan Merle has lost to Andrew Guy when literally everybody, including Christian Harloff, thought that Merle was going to beat Guy. Everybody went in that day thinking, "Oh my God, Merle's going to stomp him," and look at the result of that match.
Look at as much as I love Marisol McKee, and really, people, I guarantee you, there's probably a handful of people that had her winning. There are people that had her winning that wanted her to win, but actual people had her winning. I guarantee you there's very few.
There weren't too many.
There weren't too many. Let's just be honest, because it's Ethan Irwin. Had we seen somebody else, maybe Marisol would have been a favorite. Ethan Irwin was a favorite, and she shocked the world because she put in the hard work, dedication. As Corey Cameron show, any given Schmo day, any given Schmo day. We saw that with Guy. We saw that with Guy and Dan Merle. We saw that with upsets, galore. Ace versus Andrew Dimalanta.
Right.
It's you see matches on paper and you go, we know who's going to win that one, and things happen. So we've never thought now, like I figured Ben Bayman going into the singles tournament was either not going to be in the singles tournament because he'd be in the title contention, or he'd be walking in with a team's belt.
Right.
I'm not trying to crap on Marisol. I picked her to win. But Jeremy, I may disagree with you there. I don't know that. No. I agree with you, Jeremy. They wanted her to win. There's a difference between wanting to win and assuming who's going to win. Everybody
like I was saying earlier with Paige and Ben. Like of course, who doesn't want to see Paige beat Ben? And what would come out of that? And watching Paige's journey from calling out Ben Bain.
And Chris froze. Chris froze. Is he back? Are you back? Nope. Okay. Pull him out real quick. Gotta find my mouse. Apologize. All right. Chris will be right back. He's frozen. He hasn't came back yet. I understand what you're saying, Jeremy. I'm just saying the favorite was Ethan Irwin. You know what I'm saying? Like when you pick sports, I will always pick the Steelers, but they're not always the favorite. I want them to win. I feel they should win, but they're not always the favorite. I don't think Marisol was the favorite in this one. She's probably overwhelmingly picked in the polls and everything like that. Yeah. yeah, Jeremy, I totally understand what you're saying. Like I picked Marisol too. But there he is.
Yeah. Woo. But yes.
You gotta get that. So you gotta get that Starbucks internet fixed.
I'm hoping, dude. I move out in a week and a half, and I'm so excited. But
yeah. Do we know what kind of internet you're gonna get?
I mean, that's a conversation I've not had yet. But my buddy who I'm moving in with, he's already there. So that's a conversation for later. Yes, but
get the best.
Gosh, shell out for it. I gotta shell the money out.
Look at those looks and that smile. I'm sure you can get some money.
You know, I appreciate the hype, Shug, but in conclusion, of course I want to see Paige beat Ben, just so I can see her story be told.
Yeah.
But I think Ben's gonna win, just because of what I've seen from the both of them this year. That's my logic. Not that I don't like Paige. I love Paige. Paige is great. I want to see Paige succeed. It's Ben. That's my thing. That's my only thing. But I want to do wheel slice of the week real quick before we wrap. I know we said we're gonna wrap like 10 minutes ago, but I want to do some quick wheel slices because I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this, Shug. We finally, and when I say finally, I mean we finally. Wrestlers in film. It's been a minute. It's been a damn minute. Shouts Barbarian. Wrestlers in film. Love seeing it off the bat with that Kevin Nash Super Shredder question. Yes, please. Wrestlers in film. Wheel size of the week from your boy Cal.
What wrestler was in Suburban Commando with Hulk Hogan?
Was that oh god. I don't think I've seen this. Was it I'm gonna just guess. I don't look at the chat just in case they say something. Was it? I don't know. What was his name? Oh my god! Who was it, Shug?
Undertaker.
Oh my god! No. I haven't seen Suburban Commando.
You've never seen the damn movie. I don't even know what movie you watch now. Every time.
You listed 3 movies I haven't seen.
You have not seen Steel. You haven't seen Blue Chips. You haven't seen freaking Ghost. You have what do you do?
Last night, I was gonna watch The Proposal last night. I fell asleep. Mark
Calloway.
Shout out to Mark Calloway. But yeah, I was gonna watch The Proposal last night. I didn't. You know what I watched all of when I was in Tennessee? Jackass. I watched all 3 Jackass movies. Ever watched the movie?
We don't think
I watched the movie. Yeah, I watched the movie.
I mean, if you seen him play movie trivia, you would figure he didn't.
Right. Leo Logan.
I've been watching your matches. Horrible.
They're awful. Leo Logan has Robert Rodriguez for Jacoby. TMNT for Corey Cameron. Thrillers with Brendan for Jeremy Miller. So there's some goodies. Should you have a wheel slice that you prefer, or is it Wrestlers in Film?
I was going to go Wrestlers in Film, but I'll go Harrison Ford for Adam Collins.
Yeah, seeing him wreck through Harrison Ford again was fun, but Wrestlers in Film, I've been waiting for it. Waiting for some damn Wrestlers in Film.
How many did you get right?
I don't remember all the questions, Shug.
Is it kind of like your TikTok where you get like 5 of those 10 questions right every time?
When I shout out to my boy Miles on the TikTok 10, I've been without them I haven't done them for over a month. So when I get in this new space,
it's not gonna change anything. You're still gonna go.
My best was 7. No, my best was 7. I hit 7. That was my best. It's general knowledge. Like
it's kind of like. Never mind, I'm not even gonna go there. I was gonna burn you. I was gonna burn you
not now. So thank you to everyone hanging out in the chat. Really appreciate all the love. One more time, Brian, with the Disney. Gotta love it. Thank you so much, Brian. But thank y'all for watching Spin from the Rail this week. We really appreciate it. Make sure to check out all the programming here on Wild Real Entertainment. We have stuff almost every day. I know with my ever so changing schedule, some shows are still on a brief hiatus. I'm sorry. So the RGC and Wrestle Real will be back very, very soon. That's my fault. It's my bad. But Spin from the Real will still be here. Real Sports will still be here. Saber Reels. It's a bunch of stuff going on. Thanks to everybody hanging out in the chat. Shug, tell the folks where they can find you.
Well, I mean, they can find me at ShugKnight333 at 323 on TikTok and Twitter. and then Suge Knight 1323 on Twitch, where I'm gonna try to stream some more, especially Magic with the new set release and some big tournaments coming up. So I'm gonna try to do that more often. And then you can find me here with you on Mondays and Fridays after pay-per-view with Shmo Me the Real.
Damn right.
Hopefully not drinking Jaeger ever again.
You know what? Save the Jaeger for Spectacular. I'll be there very, very soon. But again, you can catch me at C Anthony Lopez on Twitter. I'm most active on there. On TikTok, same thing, but I'll be back there very, very soon. And I mean, my podcast, if y'all want to hear me talk about some other stuff that's not movie trivia, because apparently I don't watch movies, it's a For Chris's Sake, FORCHRIS_SAKE. It's on a talk about hiatus. That show's been on hiatus too, but that'll be back very, very soon. I have some fun things planned for that. And hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later. But again, subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, comments on this if you're watching after the fact. Good night to everybody in the chat. Be good. And remember, spin from the real, not the pegs. We'll see y'all next week. We have Nikki Dimalanta coming on the program. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.